On, you guys, welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. This is the after show. Most of you guys probably were here for the main show tonight. All right, I asked you guys if you wanted a after show, and you guys said yes. So we're going to be getting into what you see here in the beautiful title above. But before we do so, I need you guys to go ahead and thumbs up this video until it is absolutely stuck. It doesn't matter whether you are a part of the replay gang, a Bush baby, or you're actively in these streets right now. Your thumbs up absolutely matters. Okay? Also, shout out to all of my new, wonderful, beautiful subbies. We are on our way to 45.7 and counting, girl. We could be at 50K by the end of the month. No gag. All right. Also, I need you guys to go ahead and set your notification bell to all, because you never want to miss another day or hour when the king is kinging. Not all shows are premeditated. Sometimes we have a spontaneous combustion type of a situation, girl. Okay, when the phone rings, when the answer calls, when the call answers, however the hell it goes. All right, we just got to show up and understand the assignment. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your BGC, your IG, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I really don't give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're loud, live, and in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let me go ahead and speak to you guys who are up. I just dropped the link so you guys can come up here and get into the thizzle. I want to say what's going on, TST? What's going on, Torita? Hey, Peaches and Dream. Hi, Kenny. What's going on? What's going on, Shelly? What's going on, Sin? Hey, Tracy. Hey, Demon. What is going on? Brings the Mess TV. Hey, boo. Hey, Lady D. What's going on, Nikki? Hi. What's going on, T.O., Goldie, Deborah, April, Angela, Auntie Trisha. Hey, boo. What's going on, Shauna? All right, let's thumbs up, girl, because, you know, we learned in the last live that YouTube are not sending out notifications. I also want to shout out to my old nasty piece. My old nasty piece. Look at Claudia Jordan. Why is Claudia up this late? Claudia is wide open. Shout out to Miss TGIF herself. Let me hold on. Woo, child. Y'all better blow the Cash App up until it's stuck. Shout out to my baby mother, Miss Hatcher, my baby mother, Deborah, and my baby mother, Pam, who says these other creators could never. And they can't. They could not. They will not. Let me harass Claudia as well. Hold on. Let me see her old nasty piece of harassing text. Hold on. Because Claudia is a vamp like us, child. You know, we just be up in all the salacious, sinful, disturbing parts of the night, girl. Just disturbed. We is. And I did drop the link, so you guys can hit and join at any point in time. Moderators, please rotate the link. Okay. All right. Hold on. Oh, I got some. Oh, my auntie Trisha. Thank you, auntie, for the old nasty piece of Cash App for love, baby. Happy New Year, auntie. Yes, God. Let me heart all of my boos back. Hold on. My auntie Trisha, my baby mother Hatcher, baby mother Deborah. Oh, nasty piece of baby mother Pam. Yes, God, for all love, keep up the good work. I will, honey, as long as y'all like it. I'm going to love it. Okay, we're going to work for Miss 2024. It is absolutely stuck. Hold on, you guys. Make sure I done hearted everything up. Okay, all right. So, y'all know what we're here to get into, girl. If you guys did not catch the last live, then we just unraveled the T.D. Jakes Prophet Manasseh Jordan lawsuit, which may be added unto by a new individual who's entering the scenario, who is being nicknamed right now Jay. Okay, Larry Reid Live had unpacked the situation on yesterday. I came to you guys earlier in the previous live and kind of nuanced it, gave you a bit more details, etc. Also gave you a picture of Jay. Of course, it was edited. I don't believe in, like putting people out there before they're ready to. So I'm gonna let him, bring himself forward, etc. And the picture was also to illustrate a body type that clearly, allegedly, T.D. Jakes has as a preference for his men's, which is, he like them fit and thick, girl. All right. And you guys know that Jay learned that T.D. Jakes had allegedly been two-timing him behind his back once Larry Reid had posted some receipts of a text thread between Manasseh and T.D. Jakes at the time that Manasseh was being mentored by Jakes, which were arguably inappropriate, okay? Pictures of himself, being sent to Manasseh in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. in the morning, captioned, thinking of you. And then there's an onslaught of other receipts that have not been made public yet, but that are going to be chronicled in the lawsuit that Manasseh and his legal team is assimilating together as we speak. Well, when Larry Reid did this video and revealed some of those receipts, the timestamp on that particular image really triggered up the individual named Jay, because at the time that T.D. Jakes was trying to get all cuddly with Manasseh, who is a heterosexual identifying man, this was at the time that he was still in an active relationship, or having an affair, I should say, with Jakes. Now, you guys, I'm not even going to go through all the details. You guys can just go and get every detail from the live that I just did, because that was the point of doing it. So, as a result of Jay learning of Jakes allegedly two-timing him behind his back, because Jay was under the impression that he was the only one, he has since had a conversation with Manasseh, and he may also be joining in on the lawsuit because he also feels that he was groomed etc. He was hoodwinked and bamboozled, and he was sold a fairy tale, sold a lie. Okay. And then you guys know that Christian Keys and Christian Keys and his situation came up. Somebody asked me in the chat, I think it was my girl Coco, had asked me something to the extent of, do I feel like Christian Keys took a payout? You guys know that a month or two ago, Christian Keys had aired out somebody's in a very encrypted live stream where he accused some black billionaires who were able to be able to identify based upon the Easter eggs that he laid out, the context clues he provided, such as one billionaire buying out a bunch of student loan debt to attendees of HBCUs in the country. That so far has only happened to by way of one black billionaire, one black male billionaire. That was Robert F. Smith. And then he spoke about a billionaire producer, director, etc., who had came on to him and who had made certain advances to him, who apparently also had a harem of men that were on payroll who, you know, kept the king feet warm and grapes in his mouth and everything else down his throat, apparently. He was also, according to himself, triggered by Cassie's lawsuit and felt, I guess, empowered and motivated. In this 1 hour, 15-minute live stream, Christian Keys claimed that he absolutely was going to go to the law. He was going to go to police. He was going to file a criminal complaint against these individuals, that he did not want these things to happen to any other men, black men coming into this industry and coming into contact with this or these alleged billionaires and having to be subjected to grooming, SA, harassment, having their orientations and their manhood and their dignity and character compromised, etc., just for an opportunity in Hollywood, etc. He threatened, matter of fact, that he was going to go right down to the police right after he got finished with the live, claimed that he didn't want money, that he intentionally allowed the statute of limitations to exhaust, which I really don't know what that really meant. And girl, it was just up. And so it led to a firestorm against Robert F. Smith and certainly Tyler Perry, who was trending for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, and it's kind of trending now still as a result. Well, as much bravado as Christian Keys had, as emboldened as he was, as many claims and promises that he made to onlookers, he has yet to actually act on any of those claims that he made in that video. He has yet to act on avenging himself and preventing this behavior from happening to any other unsuspecting male, because he's went silent, literally has gone back to his regular life as if nothing ever happened. He's been doing podcasts, doing commercials. He's been promoting flat tummy tea and all, and has yet, once again, to provide any more information. He hasn't provided a police report. He claimed he also had a series of recordings of these men propositioning him, that everything had been well documented, that he had receipts upon receipts upon receipts upon receipts upon receipts. We also learned that Christian Keys and Tyler Perry was being sued shortly after he had prior to him going live and saying and alleging the things he alleged and sending the innuendos he did, that him and Tyler Perry had been sued by another man who claimed that both Tyler and Christian Keys stole his intellectual property, which was the Queen's Men's, which was apparently this particular author's work that he believed got into the hands of Christian Keys by way of an attorney who he discovered worked on behalf of the Tyler Perry Studios. But he did not have this attorney who was overlooking his work because he was looking to trademark, copyright. Well, the work was already copywritten, but he was looking to have this entertainment lawyer to outsource for business regarding his script so that he can license the project, have the project brought to television screens around the world, etc. And he never ended up hearing back from this attorney after she was emailed his work. And then he turned around years later and there was the Queen's Men up and running, making millions of dollars, trending, and one of BET Plus's most valued shows. This now would be the third time this man is trying to sue both Tyler Perry and Christian Keys for copyright infringement. This individual lost the previous attempts to sue Christian and Tyler because of some technicalities. I think the first time he tried to sue the duo, he didn't get them properly served, so the case was thrown out. Then he got them served, but then there was a bunch of other technical claims that also ruined his second time filing. But this man has since refiled again, girl. He's gunning for his damn coin, girl. All right. Now, I had suspected that Christian Keys had went live because he was frustrated. I had produced a hypothesis and a theory that Tyler Perry presented the Queen's Men's concept, at least parts of it, from this man who's trying to sue them's original work. And that he gave Christian Keys these ideas to incorporate into maybe a original body of work that Christian Keys too was already working on. And Christian Keys didn't know this at the time. And then learned some things maybe throughout the litigations. And this led to further frustration because Christian Keys also had made it known in several interviews over the course of the year that he had tried to outsource the material to a lot of different people and a few different studios before he even got to Tyler Perry, which was also another context clue that Tyler Perry was his last choice, which you would not think since Tyler Perry is the person that put him on. We all know him from the Tyler Perry plays back in the early 2000s, and that's his most notable work to date, aside from the Queen's Men. But yet he pussy popped and avoided this man at all costs. He went to everybody and their mama, including the local mom and pop shops, to see if they, were interested in licensing the show, etc. So I believe that my hypothesis that Tyler Perry pulled out all the stops to accommodate Christian Keys once Christian Keys circled back around after a decade of running away from his ass, and that this was his attempt to, so to speak, smooth things over for Christian Keys, okay? Because he knew if what Christian Keys is saying is true, and it's true about who we think he's saying it about, then Tyler Perry did what any smart person would have did, was he played extra nice ass with Christian Keys. If Christian Keys was back knocking on his door, looking for an opportunity, and there was all this tension in between them, and Tyler Perry had tried to make this man one of his goddamn concubines to no avail, and he knew that Christian Keys was then holding all this tea and information over his head, then absolutely he was going to pull out all the damn stops to appease Christian Keys, make Christian Keys happy, make sure that he was good, he was cool, that it was great. And I think a part of trying to appease Christian Keys also meant him overdoing it when it came to also assisting in him completing the script for the Queen's Men. I think when the other guy sued both Christian and Tyler, that's when Christian Keys learned or started putting two and two together. And I think the outburst that Christian Keys had, because the lawsuit at that point had only been wrapped up for like 2-3 weeks. it had been wrapped up. And then all of a sudden we get the Christian Keys live stream. I think Christian Keys was frustrated, and then that man had refiled, and that he was angry because the same motherfucker who allegedly tried to coerce him sexually, tried to make him gay for pay, also turned around and put him in a fucked up ass position when it came to the script, because he had no idea at the time that he was utilizing ideas and concepts that came from this man's copywritten material. This was him also trusting Tyler Perry all over again, and Tyler Perry blew it. Okay, so it was Mad Day, bitch. Now, since Christian Keys ain't done a goddamn thing since all of this, since the whole video, etc., he even got in comment sections, was windmilling, telling folk to mind their damn business. On one hand, stating that he wasn't talking about Tyler Perry, and then in other posts was saying that he did not clear Tyler Perry. It was a hot, schizophrenic, bipolar ass mess. But nonetheless, the man has not at all made a move regarding his promises to hold these powers that be accountable criminally. So now there's a conversation going on amongst social media that Christian Keys got paid off. The check indeed cleared, honey. And Miss Mama is over there eating pasta and chicken Alfredo. His days of being down there to the Dollar General eating balagna and drinking tap water are over, bitch. All right? Now, my opinion. Do I think Christian Keys took a payout? Obviously, at this point, nobody can say that he didn't, because he got it looking that way. Mama very well. What's going on with Joshua 1994? Mama very well could have taken a payout. But I have a feeling that Christian Keys just opted out. Something in my spirit tells me that Christian Keys got cold feet. He got shook. He got spooked. And the bitch got nervous, baby. He got nervous. And I think that all those people that were in his live chat, all his friends and family who were telling him, get your ass off the live, get your ass down, pick up your phone, all the folk who were calling his phone, trying to interrupt the live, etc., trying to save him. I think those people may have added to the spooked and nervousness factor. I think some of the people that he also stated in the video, some of his peers and friends that was making him hesitant to do this for, because he felt like holding this person accountable would ruin a lot of other careers. It would bring the house down, that it wouldn't just be him who was affected, but that a lot of other people who have their legacy and have their work tied to this director, producer, etc., would have that work shitted on by way of him coming forward with these allegations. It would stain it, not just for him, for everybody. I feel like his whole community galvanized around him. Everybody expressed their concerns, their feelings. Everybody gave their input. And that the larger voice from his community was, Christian, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. So I think on top of natural nervousness, because he realized how big of a job he was taking on, how big of a machine he was taking on, how big of an assignment he was taking on, coupled with his community talking him off the ledge, that he just went into hiding. That he just dropped it right then and there. I don't think that him and Tyler have had a conversation. I think that Tyler's team probably also were looking back at all of this, reading into the live stream, probably realizing that Christian Keys clearly, like, I believe that his team caught Christian Keys' bluff. Because I'm sure from their perspective, they were thinking if you were going to pull the trigger, you would have actually already pulled the trigger, and you would in fact be telling us about what you've already done and been showing us the paperwork and talking to us about the investigation to come into these allegations, and that all evidence had been handed over. The fact that Christian Keys had a lot more passion for what he was hypothetically going to do, and he was talking about what he was hypothetically going to do when he had all the space and opportunity to have already pulled the trigger and didn't. I think Tyler Perry's team probably sat back and said, hold on, before we get to making any phone calls, etc., let's see what is up, because it's a reason why he's talking to social media but has yet to talk to law enforcement. And it's probably because he's calling bluff. I'm sure they consider the same things that we did. I also don't believe that Christian Keys had evidence. I believe that's another reason why he hasn't pulled the trigger. I believe all that pen, I have a recording pen. I have years and years worth of pens that recorded all of these interactions and engagements was all bullshit. I think he knew that it would be his word for Tyler's. But let me tell you what I don't believe. I don't believe Christian was lying. I think he was telling the truth. I think he's been objectified. I think he's been put in compromising predicaments and positions like he claimed. But I think some of it was bravado. I think some of it was him attempting to really scare the shit out of the people that he was talking about, that he knew was listening. I think he wanted to make them feel terror. I think he wanted to leave them in this suspended state of fear, this suspended state of apprehension. I think he wanted to have some type of satisfaction that they too were now shook. They were now induced with anxiety, that they now were suffering because of the fear of whatever he was going to do. And I think that ultimately became enough for him. I think that was enough for him. Him publicly saying, I know what you did, and you know that I know what you did. And I'm holding this thing, and I can corroborate it, legitimize it, and substantiate it because I have the evidence to support what I'm saying. And you're going to live the rest of your fucking life not knowing what I'm going to do moment to moment. I want you to live with a lack of security. I want you to live every day vulnerable and afraid as hell. I want you to carry that around in you the way that I got to carry what you did to me around in me. Christian Keys is so affected, and he is so bothered by what has happened to him throughout the years, that had he been sitting on evidence, he would have pulled the trigger already. He is too emotional to not have done it. That's what leaves me believing that he did not have any evidence, or the evidence he claimed he had, to substantiate and corroborate his allegations, which are important when it comes to applying any civil or criminal pressure. He's too impulsive to not have ran down to the police. He feels too violated to not have done it. So the fact that he didn't do it and he's gone stone cold silent leads me to believe that Christian Keys never had the evidence, but I still believe that his experience was nonetheless for real, and that he's speaking about events that have actually happened. And I do think that between his own personal apprehension, the lack of physical evidence to support his reality, coupled with his community galvanizing around him, telling him not to do this, as they were telling him that during the live in real time. He had to literally turn off his phone. He had to literally tell people to stop calling him, stop interrupting his live. He was literally reading some of the comments back, in that live stream. So payout, possibly though. We got April in the background. I'm gonna let April up after I finish my my little spiel here. But nonetheless, could have took a payout as well. You know, I mean, that's easily just as plausible that Tyler's team got wind. You know, they scrambled just like T.D Jakes' team is scrambling, making phone calls, trying to see what people want so that they can keep this thing under wraps, have this thing go away quietly. Very well, the same thing could have happened in Christian Key's case. Checks could have been cleared, NDAs could have been signed, and life goes the fuck on. Everybody pretends like nothing happened. Now, on the other end, I also want y'all opinion about this T.D. Jakes stuff when it comes to Jay, okay, the anonymous figure who is claiming that he was in a 17-year-long relationship and affair with T.D. Jakes' girl. What do y'all think about him? What do y'all think about him wanting to join in on Manasseh's lawsuit? What do y'all think about him feeling groomed now after learning that he was lied to, etc., that he wasn't the only one, as Jake stated, he wasn't the only concubine, this wasn't the only experience that Jakes was having, etc. What do you guys think? I'm gonna once again drop the link at that like, because you know I've already given my commentary on that, so y'all can give y'all commentary. And I just dropped the link once again. Moderators, please rotate it. And thumbs up this video, please. And because this shit is wild. It's so wild. You got, let me read some of the comments as well. Jakes was married, absolutely married. Hold on, y'all. Oh, man. Hold on, y'all. All right, let me read some of these comments. Tarita says it's a shame how people with power can, let me see. People with power can use that power to blackball you, and if they want to use it to end your career just because they can. Which is why we need people to act on holding these people accountable, because as long as folk taking payouts, as long as folk settling out of court, as long as folk quiet, they're mute, people are living in fear instead of, you know, being brave of heart, as long as that's the case, that literally is sustaining the immunity and the perpetuation of this type of abuse in these systems. That's literally the behavior that's doing that. So as long as folk shook and folk are, you know, trying to play nice, we're never going to see the day that the curtain really is ripped back and the glass ceiling is truly cracked and becomes undone. Okay, we got April in the back of the ground. Let me let her up. April? April, can you hear me? April going once, going twice. Okay. I don't know what's going on with April. But anybody is welcome to hit the link, which I dropped, to come up and get into the things, honey. Shelly says married don't mean ish. It, you know, unfortunately it doesn't. You know, it's just a legal contract between you and the state. Unfortunately, you know. So I guess it is in people's best interest to get married in this day and age, because if you don't, you're gonna fuck around and get cheated on anyway, get used and abused anyway, and then you're gonna have no legal claim to anything. You know, so at least marriage gives you some type of a footing that allows you to get paid for your pain, whether that's alimony, whether, you know, the alimony comes with, you know, assets, being able to walk away with the house, with the cars, with the clothes, with the jewels, with the jewelry, honey. So Now, unfortunately, all marriage is just a type of an insurance. Okay? Hold on. We got April back. April?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the platform. What's going on, sugar?
Oh, I just want to say my quick opinion. I just want to ask you about this Christopher
Yes.
Keys. What took him so long to say something? Why he wait years later to say something?
I mean, according to him, he was inspired by the Cassie lawsuit. That's what he said. That he was inspired by her lawsuit, and that's what made him, ready to do this thing. He saw the outcome of Cassie's lawsuit. He saw, that she had the courage and she was brave of heart. So he felt, hey, maybe the time is now for me to strike.
Hmm. Okay. And my thing is like with Tyler Perry, they've been saying like for years, for a long time, that he's like in the closet. Why don't
Mhm.
he just come out the closet and just be happy who he is?
Wouldn't it all be so much easier and simple, April, if it just embraced it? But I guess maybe he's just still deeply uncomfortable. Maybe he still has a lot of religious convictions. Maybe there's a fear of going to hell if even if he's still doing the act. But there's a lot of disgruntled same gender loving people who will still be active in their sex life and love life and still walk around with that conviction in their heart, still feel uncomfortable in what they're doing because of all of their religious conditioning. So it's possible that some of that conditioning is still at work in him, even as a grown adult male. And maybe it's also the fear of letting down his family members who maybe also share a lot of the same religious beliefs and would be very disappointed and more than likely unaccepting of him having the same gender loving partner, even though they probably wouldn't give a damn, considering that he's the breadwinner at this point. That would be his covering, but maybe it's his own fears and convictions.
Yeah, 'cause it's this other YouTuber
Mhm.
blogger. He I don't know if it's safe to say his name or whatever, but he said, if I'm not mistaken, he knew Tyler Perry through a neutral friend. I think you know who I'm talking about, but
Mr.
I don't.
Hampton. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Mr.
yeah.
Walter Hampton. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, cause he also said that cause he knew Tyler Perry from years ago, and
Yeah.
he also said that that Tyler Perry used to go to the clubs or whatever.
Hmm.
And what else did he say? Cause I think he said he met Tyler Perry through a neutral friend, and I think his name
Yeah.
was Eric, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, but I wonder, like with I don't know, I'm not sure. I want to ask you, do you think that Tyler Perry is he still friends with his friend Eric? Since Tyler Perry is like the top,
Hmm.
like on the top now.
I more than likely, but what's interesting about that, April, is I don't know if you saw my deep dive video when all of this was first popping off, and we was kind of unpacking Tyler Perry, and we got into his dilemma with Medea, who another creator and artist claimed was ripped from them, which is a drag queen by the name of Miss Sophia.
Yep, I
And
know her. Yeah.
and Miss Sophia, remember, also alleged that Tyler Perry would routinely frequent the queer clubs and the gay clubs. That's where she would be performing her skits and her shows. And he was always in the club. He was always sitting to the back. He was rather friendly, but yet kind of an inconspicuous figure. But that's how he got the idea for, for Medea. So Tyler Perry being closely associated with the community, being in all these queer spaces, frequenting the gay clubs in the early 90s and 2000s, etc., and now coupled with all of these claims around, SA and grooming and being on the down low, Yeah, it's given that more than likely he is probably a closeted man.
And
But a
Tyler
lot of people
Perry,
believe that Oprah Ash just as closeted too.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I heard about that too. That was back in the 80s.
Hmm.
In the
Yeah.
80s when they said
cause
that
they
about her.
been saying, cause they been saying like for years that Oprah and Gail, they might get a love affair going on. It kind of look like it to me though, allegedly.
Hmm. And that Stepford is a beard for Oprah. A
Mhm,
whole goatee for Oprah.
mhm.
Yep. Yeah, it's a mess. I yeah, no, it's this is it, it's a lot because you got sexual identity intertwining with claims of sexual assault and abuse. So you have uh a shit show here. I if Tyler Perry is abusing people, taking advantage of people, I know that Storm Monroe had also uh told a story about Lance Gross, who also has worked for Tyler Perry and been featured in some of his television shows, who apparently Tyler Perry came on to directly. I'm talking about like actually grabbed him in his genital areas, I believe, and Lance Gross apparently knocked the shit out of Tyler Perry, like knocked him to the actual ground, knocked him to the floor. So you can't just be doing shit like that. But usually very repressed people behave like that. Like they misbehave real bad. Like their truth comes out in these abrasive, distorted ways. And it's super unfortunate, but I hope that Tyler Perry ass does come full circle with his truth. And it looked like he need to be making some phone calls because this is the era of telling it all. This is the era of playing phone, and the truth is bursting out of every damn scene. Nobody is damn safe. So if he had any lick of damn sense, he probably should be on the phone with Christian Keys. He should be on the phone with every damn body that nobody knows about yet publicly, because him leaving that stuff right there is more than likely probably going to result in the day that all that shit is going to become content for the rest of us. I want to invite Peaches and Dream to the platform as well. Torito, thank you for being here. Your thoughts on Christian Keys, TD Jakes, what's going on?
Yes. Uh, First of all, uh, with Christian Keys, I believe him. But my thing of it is, with the young lady that spoke just now,
April. Mm-hmm.
as being
Uh-huh.
a survivor of rape, and back then, uh, when it happened to me, they called it acquaintance rape or date rape, um, because we really don't know his truth, and we don't even know if what he was saying is true. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that what they call acquaintance rape or date rape, you, a lot of women, including myself, didn't report it because, and it wasn't until I had went into counseling that I realized that it wasn't my fault. That this
Mm-hmm.
is not something that I welcome. You know what I mean? Because in the beginning, you blame yourself. I shouldn't have done this, or maybe I shouldn't have went there, or this, and that. So, and then, like I said, allegedly, because you got to see allegedly with everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Allegedly, he may be a victim of who this person is, because as far as I know, did Christian Keys even reveal exactly who this so-called person was?
Well, that's the thing
He's
that was weird to me, Charita, because he was in comment sections on one hand saying it wasn't Tyler, but then he was in
right,
other comment sections also saying that he did not clear Tyler. So I'm just like,
right.
bro, what is it giving?
That's what yeah. I'm still waiting for. Well, then who is it? But at the end of the day, to sit up there and say that what took him so long, why
Mhm.
didn't he? What took him so long to report it? This, and that. There's a lot of shame involved in rape. There's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
you know, thinking, and there's a lot of shame in it. There's a lot of blame in it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, uh, how you being raised up, you know, girls are supposed to be sweet and kind and, you know, and you know, and then they got a different thing for, you know, boys will be boys, you know, type of
Yeah.
attitude. You know what I mean? Because I come from Generation X. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
how that was. But at the end of the day, you know, not saying that she has a right to ask that question, because you can't help it as being a human being to think back like why didn't you? But you can't. Why didn't they report it back then? But like I said and posted on your comment, it's a shame where, and we know who the black people are that have the power in Hollywood right now, and if they can use it to end your career, you know, this man, he's in what? He's not in like major motion pictures right now. He do a lot of B movies, you
Yeah.
know, and he doesn't get paid. Well, maybe he'll get like what, $25,000-$50,000 a movie compared to, you know, what the real stars get out there. So he
Mm-hmm.
knows this could damage his career. They can blackball
Mm-hmm.
him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it's hard for me to step back and say I don't believe him, because I do believe him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At some point,
Are you
people might not.
disappointed in him, Charita? Like, are you disappointed because as a result of him not doing something that holds these people accountable, it does leave those people in the positions that he said he was so grieved that they were in.
Mhm.
It leaves
Right.
them, wide open to continue to traffic under other young men and black
Right,
men.
exactly. And because ain't nobody saying it. And I mean, not to switch the subject, but he's a little cuckoo and he's a little out of his mind. But I
Mm,
remember having his picture on my wall back in the 80s when I was a kid, the Coreys. It was Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. Corey Haim was the one that died. Um, they were two known, the Coreys back in the day. Corey
mm,
Feldman said that long time ago. And even it happened to Todd Bridges when he was a kid, being molested within the being, you know, molested or you know, within the Hollywood industry. Todd Bridges finally came out about it. I think about like a decade ago, and it's even in his book that he
mm,
had his own bio that he was molested, you know, as a child in the industry. So it
yeah.
does happen, you know what I
Mhm,
mean?
absolutely.
As far as Hollywood, you know,
Look at
people
Drew
who have
Barrymore.
that power.
I don't know if y'all know who the actress Drew Barrymore is, but she's a child star. She starred
Yes.
in the Firestarter, etc. But I mean, they had her on drugs and drinking alcohol at like 10
Yes, like an
times.
Yeah,
adult in a
In
partying
club,
and
like
yeah,
right,
yeah.
like she was a grown person in the
Mhm.
club and she's drinking champagne and she's snorting cocaine. She talked about all that in her bio. Same thing with the young lady that played Kelly. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not Kelly. She played Nellie Olson on the show Little House on the Prairie. I know I may be going way back in the day and I'm telling my age to everybody, but when
Yeah.
Little House on the Prairie was on when I was a kid, I'm a 70s, 80s kid. And she was molested within the industry. The one
Mhm.
that played Nellie Olson,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And she's an advocate for that. So you know, and see, it doesn't just stop at kids. It doesn't just stop at
Mhm.
with young girls or young boys. You have, look at Cruz. What's his name? He hosts his America's Got Talent. Cruz.
Terry
He played
Crews.
foot. Right. He said he was physically manhandled
He
by
was. Yeah.
a top of person
Mhm.
in the Hollywood industry.
He
He
sure did
physically
say that.
touched him. Right.
Yeah. In
You know
front
what
of
I mean?
his wife at that.
Right. And then him and his wife, right. Him and wife is together. They're at a
Mhm.
function, you know, for a premiere of a movie or something that was coming out that he was in. And this man just grabs him by his
Crotch.
Johnson, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say, right,
Mhm.
grabs him by his Johnson. Grown, a grown man that probably could whoop that man's behind, but he
Yeah.
felt as though he had the power to put his hands on his on what's his name's private area. because they felt as though they had that power, and they, hey, I can get you. I mean, I can take your, I can blackball you. I can do whatever I want to do, and it don't matter what. You won't never act again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when the people, and then I gotta give it. I'm sorry, I gotta give it to Monique. As I listened to her in the beginning, I was like, gotta fall back from her because it seemed like she's talking like crazy a little bit, but hearing her now, listening to her now, saying some of the things she's saying, some about as far as the industry goes, she's right about a lot of that stuff. I just don't agree with her and her husband's relationship. She calling him daddy and all that. That part, that's different.
And that he's raising her. He training.
Right.
He's training her. He's raising her. I said, girl, are you a dober?
But as far as Hollywood being dirty and sneaky,
are you a pit bull? Are you a German Shepherd, sis?
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? Was he? Is he desperately walking around carrying treats in his pocket to, throw at her when she do something, that he agreed with?
Damn.
I mean, but at the end of the day, as far as when she comes and talks about the industry and when she talks about Hollywood, she's right because. And look at the power. Taraji P. Henson, I don't care what anybody say. She spoke. She said how she feel. It is what it is. Period. Point blank. Because Oprah and they could have paid them actors more than what they paid them to do that movie, do the musical version.
And I want to touch on that before you get too deep off into that, because I want to bring that up too. But I want to get everybody perspective first on the Christian Key stuff. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna circle back around to that though. We're gonna circle back around to it. Peaches and Cream, your thoughts on the Christian Keys, T.D. Jakes situation? What's going on?
It was more about T.D. Jakes for me. I was a little bit shocked because I grew up in the church, and my mom, I'm glad she's not here to see this because I think her head would spin because she was one of those, let me get T.D. Jakes' book. Let me get his Bible. T.D. Jakes had a whole woman thou art loosed.
Yeah.
Loosed.
And it loosed a lot of women.
Wow.
It said a lot of women's free, baby.
Yeah, and like she had his books and Joel Osteen's books and all this stuff about these pastors just coming out. I'm just glad my mom's not here to see this because him like dancing on stage and having his hands in his pocket watching fucking security guards twerk and shit. I don't think I would. I don't know how she would take that, but I think Christian Keys was paid off. I am disappointed, but at the same time, you can't keep stuff like that hidden forever.
Yeah.
The universe is very clever and cunning, I should say. Like it's like trying to hold something down, but that pressure, you're trying to hold it down, but it's gonna pop up in another spot.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Bobbing up to the surface like a
yes. So I'm just gonna sit back and wait and watch. I'm not gonna try to be too shocked when the whole truth does come out. I think it's gonna take a real long while for some stuff to come out about Tyler Perry because Tyler Perry has his hands in everything. I think Tyler Perry has people in certain places to make things stop things or make things look a certain way. I mean, he's not stupid, obviously. So yeah.
Let me ask you this question Peaches and Cream, do you believe that two things can be true at once? You know, sometimes we do throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, for instance, R. Kelly did the things he did, but yet he made great music. So even with T.D. Jakes, kind of like maybe being a hypocrite, possibly not living the way that he claims, does that still make the material valuable, though?
Material valuable?
Yeah. Well. Does it still make his material valuable, such as his teachings, his books, his sermons still are the truth, even if he's living a lie?
That's crazy because like a lot of preachers and pastors, because they're saying one thing and living a whole nother
Mhm.
thing. I just don't see how people can go back to church after something happens and they're found out. And I've seen pastors, stand up in front of the church and confess, and oh, I did this, and the God is whipping me, and I'm confessing, and try and garner, I guess, garner that sympathy, to keep their parishioners in
Mm.
place.
Mm.
I think that's what happens. And I think that if something does come out, well, when something does come out about TD Jakes, people are so wrapped up in the church, and they're so wrapped up in worshiping the pastor instead of God, him, God. I
Mhm.
think they'll just overlook it, be like, "Oh, he confessed his, and he came out to his church, and blah 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 blah." I don't know about coming out, coming out. I don't know what that'll do, but if something does come out, then I hope I'm articulating this to
Yeah,
where I'm understood. But
yes, you're doing well.
people will still follow. That's the thing. People are sheep. People will still follow, and that's why I left the church, because my church had a VIP section with, the favorite parishioners could sit up in the front row. And then the pastor's wife had her own seat. And I just saw a whole bunch of things. And I felt like I was being treated a certain way, especially after my mother passed.
Mm.
I just look at this whole situation so differently. I feel like if I was still in the church, then I would be like, no, he didn't do it. So yeah, that's
Mm.
me. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you for that. Because we want to circle back around too to get into the Taraji P. Henson situation
Can I
as
say
well.
something? Is it okay to say
Yes,
something?
I was just about to get to you, little lady. Hey, Miss Rashonda. Yes, what are your thoughts on the Christian Keys, Tyler, T.D. Jakes controversy?
Hey, how you doing, Conscious? Hey,
I'm
everybody.
doing well. How you
Hi.
doing? You sound lovely.
Thank you. I'm in a better place and a better mood. I want to tell
Oh,
you,
wow. Thank God. That's good
yeah,
to hear. I'm glad you're in a great place. You deserve to be. Life too short.
yeah, and here's the thing. What I found out is like it starts when you a child, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
What I found out is most people take advantage of children. That's why if you notice, mostly they looking for kids. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? It
You're
starts
looking for
when
the
they're
most vulnerable of
and
society.
and I don't understand why you got to find a kid just to groom them to have problems down the line. And then when things happen, um, it's like people in Hollywood likes being dysfunctional. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like I'm like, wait a minute, I just noticed something. Even after everything that's going on, you got them still looking for children to put in Hollywood to be later on in life be all jacked up and messed up, drinking, drugging, all this stuff. And the what makes it so bad, Conscious, um, the adults not being held accountable for how they treat the children. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hmm.
So it's like it's an ongoing cycle.
Yeah.
And even with me, even though I know what's going on, I told folks I'm not gonna compromise what I do to just because I can sing. I'm not gonna compromise myself to go to Hollywood. No. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I have experienced this for myself. Um Now I'm gonna tell you a little experience right quick. I auditioned for Sunday's Best. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't
That
know that. Hmm.
yeah. So I ended up, auditioning for Donna McClurkin, Kim
Hmm.
Burrell, all of them. And the way that they treated me, I felt some type of way. And um, if you pay attention, Kelly Price has actually outed all of those people that was on Sunday's Best. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Somebody else
So
got in their ass who was auditioning too.
Sure
yeah,
did.
so
You
it
drag for filth.
I felt some type of way when I was there because um even though I got a chance to experience it, it's
Yeah.
it's like I was put on Front Street to be judged. in a way that I wasn't expecting. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I said, it wasn't that I couldn't sing or I wasn't good. It's just that, these you can't what I'm saying is you can't hold celebrities to a higher standard. That's where we mess up as people. These people putting them a pedestal, and they're human too. But what makes it so bad? Never get on a platform acting like you're holier than thou, because people have secrets, and it's people that know what you did and how you did it, and don't you know they can out you. That's
Yeah.
that's my whole thing. You have to be humble enough to um not to put nobody in a position to where they feel some type of way. I ain't saying it's right for them to do that, for them to be blackmailed and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna be in leadership, like with the T.D. Jakes and stuff like that, you got to understand that it's people that know what you did when you participate in this stuff behind the scenes. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna, judge somebody else, or are you gonna, try to, be transparent? And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people not transparent. They're not transparent. They're trying to hide and be secret and all that stuff. And it's gonna make things a lot harder. Now, if T.D. Jakes would have just told the truth in the beginning, none of this stuff would be coming out now. You see what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
trying to act like he ain't did nothing. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful and when you're in leadership, you got to be careful how you treat people.
And
That's why I think.
I agree with
Yeah.
everything she just said, because you know what?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, that's what made me fall back from the church. Because, like I said, my sister is gay, and I love her. I've known her all her life because we're only a year and 3 months apart. So I've known her all her life. And then these same people that want to sit up there and tell you this, and that. Like we had a troll earlier this evening when you were doing CTV, when you were doing
Go to
the whole stuff
hell.
up there.
Repent.
Right.
The kingdom is
Yes.
at hand.
Yes. And then we had a troll come in, and you know what? At the end of the
I
day, that's
did
what made me
repent
fall.
from thoughts of whipping
Yes.
your motherfucking ass. I
And
did.
and you would have had backup right here. Because at the
Period.
end of the day, like I said, you know what? That's what made me fall back with the church, because at the end of the day, I have my own personal relationship with God, and I'm like this. You're telling me that just because my sister's gay, she's going to hell. Well, guess what? You're not supposed to judge either. So the same hell you trying to condemn my sister to is the same hell you gonna wind up for judging at the
Eh,
end of the
eh,
day. And that's how I look at it. And when
Right.
you got people going in the church and sit up there talking about some, and when something go down with the pastor, oh Lord, the pastor this and that, but and then wait a minute. At the end of the day, when you go into church to fellowship, you are supposed to be receiving the word from the messenger. That pastor is a man, a human being. He is weak. He is of the flesh. Okay? But y'all sit up there, instead of y'all supposed to be listening to the Bible and listening to the
Mhm.
messenger and the message that is being given, you're putting all your faith and all your feelings and inspiration into a man who is weak, a man who is vulnerable, a man who is
Mm,
fallible.
mm.
Okay? At the end of the day. Period. He is just supposed to be the
mm,
messenger. Period. Point
Exactly. and
blank.
I
and I'm
want
gonna I'm gonna say this too. Um, there was a preacher that I went to. It's crazy. I'm gonna tell you this, conscious. The man told me I was going to hell for listening to Yolanda Adams. Do you know I ended up going to Sunday's Best and meeting Yolanda Adams? That's what I'm gonna tell you. And I was like, this is crazy. You get what I'm saying? So we miss people and we miss the value of people when we listen to what somebody's saying about going to hell. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a heaven or hell to put me in because you don't agree with what God got me doing. So we really have to worry about our soul, salvation with God and not man.
so
You
it's two things here that I have learned from all of this stuff happening publicly, and I mean not happen publicly, but the things that are happening within the industry and all of this. And I said it in my previous live is that we really need to explore the dynamics of power, and that's going to be in the best interest of all of ourselves, including our children who may have, who may come into power as well. They may come into great wealth in their lives. They may come into very profound success. And I feel like we know so very little as a society about the effects of power, the effects of wealth upon the brain. I know we, try to raise our children with strong ethics and morals, and we ourselves were raised by, parents and guardians who attempted to instill, good things into us. But I still feel that even with strong values and morals and ethics, that there has to be something that we don't understand about the way that power and wealth impacts human consciousness, that even the strongest of person can be brought to their knees, even the most moral, even the most ethical person, not that they have to be brought, but that, we have seen, very great men and women from all walks of life, leaders, celebrities, religious leaders, community organizers, etc., fall from that grace. And it brings into question what is at the top, and what is happening to human psychology. What's happening? Is the top equivalent to the nature of that metaphorical apple that the book of Genesis talks about? Is there this very powerful allure and lust and enticement? Is there a insatiable appetite that exists at the top that we're not accounting for, that we just are not unpacking because that's just not the conversation that happens around power? Usually the focus gets put on the people who fall from grace. I want to drop the link to Torito, and just for everybody on the panel, I think that StreamYard is kicking people out as well. So if you find yourself getting knocked out of StreamYard, etc., it's StreamYard. But I just dropped the link for you, Tarita, and anybody else who wants to come up on the panel. But
Is it okay
like
to
it
say
makes
something?
me, yeah, it makes me question, what really is happening. Like we have these old sayings that, oh, you don't start feeling yourself, you don't got a little money now, because we see this on a macro level when folk just get, a little bit more in life. Their attitude tends to change. They get a little bit more bougie. They think they, uppity now. They think, they that you ain't good enough for them, or this situation ain't good enough for them, etc. We see. So imagine if we're seeing people get a damn PPP loan and think that they Bill Gates now, or people get a new weave and think that they damn Tyra Banks now, or people, just get a better paying job and all of a sudden they damn Hillary Clinton, then imagine what the hell must be happening to people's brains. What must be happening to the human spirit when people are given, an exaggerative amount of wealth and or power and influence and reach. I mean, this must absolutely have a catastrophic effect on human nature. And before we continue on in this conversation, I want to, because Tarita was bringing up that the pastor is just a man, and I'm sure you all have already seen this, and I thought it was relevant to bring forth to the discussion, is the recent viral clip of the Mississippi pastor who was fired days after pregnant mistress confronted him during a service that was being streamed. Watch this footage here. Hold on. Oh, let me shut my microphone. Now hold on. I didn't realize I didn't have the microphone switched over. So this pastor's mistress, pregnant mistress, barged her way into the church during live service, attempting to, for whatever reason, confront or beat or hit or assault the first lady. I don't know what that was about. You can see her being dragged out of the church. As she's being dragged out of the church, she's calling the woman a bitch. I'm gonna get that bitch or whatever it was. And now what you guys are hearing is the pastor who first and foremost sat there and watched his wife almost get beat to a bloody pulp by his pregnant mistress. Now take the microphone. It is going to attempt to explain away his behavior or to, because now at this point, the congregation is about to become irate and they're asking him to leave, to step down. You need to get the fuck up out of her. And he's not having it. So listen to the rest of this.
I'm the pastor. I haven't been voted out. I'm not going. I'm not going.
Oh, wow.
Police can't move me and I'm the pastor.
You're not going to remove me. I'm the pastor. I'm not going.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh my.
Okay, Jennifer Holiday.
If any time that a vote is needed for restriction a church meeting will be called. The meeting must be stated. It is
said, people getting up, leaving. Babies are crying, which is them rebuking his ass. And he's up there reading from a paper trying to explain what the proper procedure is of actually removing a pastor, that it calls for the deacons board to assemble, etc. And what's funny about him standing down and not wanting to step down or leave or abort this moment is now all of a sudden now you're concerned about doing the right thing. Where was all of this passion to do the right thing and the proper thing before you stepped out on your woman and put the whole church and your whole marriage in this predicament? This call to now all of a sudden want to do something proper is very convenient. Where was this energy before you did shit you did? Because not only did you have a mistress, but clearly you had to be having unprotected sex for her ass to end up pregnant. You had a whole woman of God to come back home to. But continue to listen.
Ministry will provide. The service of the deacon ministry will provide. Let me show it to you. Let me show it to you, right? Because I asked to do one thing. Ask the question. They won't let me ask the question. They won't let me ask the question. They don't tell the truth. You think I asked them to let me ask one question?
Who is that screaming and hollering and crying in the background?
It's babies crying, it's people upset, and then it's congregants who are upset at him screaming from the back of the church as well. But Miss Lily says that the cousin pastor interviewed the mistress. Miss Lily, what did the mistress say? Why, what was her smoke about or for the first lady about? If you can give me the clip notes in the chat.
You know, when y'all came to that meeting, y'all said, I'll let you speak at the meeting. You don't remember that? Right. No. This is what happened. Do y'all remember? No. See, why they won't let me go? All I ask is to ask one question. All I ask, they won't let me ask my one question because they know I'm telling the truth. And the police say come on private property and ask me to leave if I'm not doing nothing to nobody. The private property. That's a private property. Calm down, y'all. The right way is the right way is number one. Number one, the right way is where is your church road? Where's your church road? You gotta have an active church road. Where's your church road? Where's the secretary of the church? No, you got you. How you got one? The church secretary is supposed to have one. You haven't been here, but you coming on first Sunday. So how you know who's their second, third, and fourth?
Is he serious? He asking her what her role is in the church.
As long as we do it right, I'm okay. I'm okay with right. As long as we do it right.
No, you're not okay with right. If you were okay with right, sir, this wouldn't be happening to begin with. If you were okay.
Hello?
It's the look at this is the type of hypocrisy, and this is the stuff that breaks people's heart and leaves them deeply scarred and makes people.
Thank you, because that's why I left the church.
Church.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and that pastor looked like he a narcissist.
He had the rules and the bylaws on hand. He must have known that something was going to happen.
He clearly has to be, because to have the arrogance to still stand in this moment when any other person would have ran for cover by now, any other person would have left willingly, freely, and immediately. But the fact that he's sitting here attempting to are thinking that he can persuade this moment away or talk
conscious sweetheart, that's the narcissism. That's the narcissism.
Yeah,
that's the narcissism.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. The fact that he is still sitting here is literally what narcissism is. The fact that he is bold enough to talk about the right thing when he done did the wrong thing to get everybody in this. The fact that he's questioning other people's roles when he clearly has violated his own title and his own role. This is all bona fide narcissism. But we almost at the end of the clip.
Thank you. I'm the pastor of the church. I'm the pastor of the church and have not done nothing to nobody. The church will witness. I'm the pastor of the church and have not done nothing to nobody.
Yup, get him out. Yup, get out.
No. Because I have not done nothing. I am the pastor. I'm the pastor of the church. And if I can't do that, I haven't done anything. I'm the pastor. Okay, come on, I told you. Come on.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you don't. No, they're like, oh, you know, you're not gonna take him to the back. He's gonna try to take it.
Hold on, I want y'all to focus because it's about to be another fight that's gonna break out. People gonna start swinging. Continue to watch and pay attention to this. What the hell?
Girl.
Oh.
I think it's a pregnant mistress again, I think. Yep, that's a pregnant mistress again. Child, that's what that like that's exactly what the Potter's house is about to be looking like after that damn lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. I
Yep.
saw earlier today a video. I don't know, did y'all see it? It was on, I can't think of the lady. I think it was this lady video I watched. She showed the video that Bishop T. Jakes' church was empty. It wasn't a lot of people at his church. I
Wow.
wasn't sure what day it was, but yeah, the church was real empty. And I also wanted to say something. Is that okay with the panel? Is it
Yeah.
okay I say
Mhm.
something? Okay, I ain't gonna I what I wanted to say, like, about like the church, how judgmental they are. Like if you do something wrong, like if you gay or something, I'm gonna be honest. I was brought up in the church myself. I'm gonna be honest. I used to be a judgmental person, but now I try not to be a judgmental person now, cause I'm gonna be honest. Every day I do feel guilty about being so judgmental. And I'm like, why is I'm judging people and I'm not God? I did not create this world, and to be honest, I love people the way they are. I love gay people and I love straight people. I love people in all different race, and I don't have no problems with gay people. I have gay people in my family and I love them, and I'm close to all of them. So, cause I'd be like, whatever they do, that's between them and God, you know.
Mhm. I mean, but that's the way it's supposed. I think okay. I think streamer acting a fool. Yeah, that's the way that it's supposed to be. Um,
The wife is
and
on TikTok.
someone said that the wife literally said that that's her man and she's going to stick beside him. So she's about to be a Venter, a Venter Gray. Okay, this is her John Gray, and she about to be Avenger Gray. And I think this is sometimes one of the issues with religion is that it's easy for people to excuse a lot of because bad behavior is one thing. Like everybody is human at the end of the day, and nobody is above falling short because we have a human nature. And people are going to make their fair share of mistakes, both unconsciously and consciously. But a pattern is much different, and not even trying is a whole nother thing. And I think one of the issues, unfortunately, that religion creates for those who participate in religion and church brain is that you get to excuse the person by blame shifting onto the devil, onto the enemy. And I think this is what makes a lot of people bold enough, like this wife here, to say, hey, despite this woman pregnant, sleeping with my husband, despite what my husband has done, he just publicly humiliated her. He now has put their finances and their lives into a whole nother situation as a result of a life that he's going to have to care for, and who's going to be potentially integrated into their family. And she's going to stick beside him. You know why she's going to stick beside him? Because she get to blame him doing it on the damn devil. She gets to hold the devil accountable, not hold the man accountable. And so I think this exists largely, unfortunately, in the church, and why the church can be so long suffering, because they give so much credit to the enemy. But guess what? Despite the enemy tempting Adam and Eve to bring chaos into the world, he still punished or penalized, chastised Adam and Eve. He also chastised the enemy for adding insult to injury, but he also chastised and penalized and held accountable Adam and Eve as well. If we are to extract from that story. So this idea that we are to be fully separated from our behavior is what leads to a very abusive, warped society that is not applying the proper pressure for people to be well. And there are some issues with the way we hold people accountable too, because there's a difference between condemning somebody and shaming somebody and holding somebody accountable. We do also, as people who witness bad behavior, have to also hold people accountable righteously. Holding people accountable also does not look like nailing them to the cross. That's not what Jesus would have wanted. That's not what even Jesus did to those who fell short, is nailed them to the cross like his enemies did to him. There's work on everybody's part when it comes to the way we handle holding people accountable, etc. But I feel sorry for this wife who is going to stick beside her man, and she ain't even had an opportunity to get a damn I'm sorry yet. But anyway, somebody was trying to jump in here and say something.
Me, hey, Conscious. Okay, I want to say this. I actually live in Mississippi. Yeah, they be doing the most. And there was a story back in 2023 where um they said they kicked a woman out of church for preaching the word. And it's just crazy how where I live, you know, um they very judgmental. I mean, um, you know, I stopped going because they got mad at me because I could sing. And they really made me feel some type of way. So I'm like this. You can't even go in the house of God and you know, um do what you need to do as far as you know giving God honor and stuff like that. If I'm gonna be ridiculed, I'd rather do that at home. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to go where I'm not wanted and what I'm not where I'm not you know appreciated. Um that's the thing. Don't you know you can get further? And I wanted to say this to you, Conscious. I have learned so much from you, and we have to have an open mind. We are so close minded that we miss the people that could, you know, down the line may help us with something. You know, that very person that you are hating on and say go to hell and all this stuff got to be the one to help you. So we have to be mindful how we treat people. You get what I'm saying? You just can't say, well, I don't like this person. Well, why you don't like that person? You know what I'm saying? You have to go within yourself and figure out why you feel the way you feel about a certain person. Because you don't know when you may go to the store, that person you might not like gay people, and gay people might be at the store. They might have to do, you know, service your food and all that stuff. So you have to be careful how you treat people. You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. And that's why we got to heal as people, because a lot of time how we treat people is a reflection of how we're treating ourselves as a result of how other people treated us. So there's an old saying that hurt people. So as you said, Rashonda, people got to really evaluate that stuff. A lot of times we're just responding to stimuli. We don't actually unpack it. We don't attempt to understand it. We don't question our impulses. We don't question our habits. We just have them. We just go alongside them. We're just dragged along by them. And we don't actually sit back and say, to your point, where does this come from? Why is it that I respond this way? What is this really about? We don't really do the inner work and get introspective and go down the rabbit hole, which we should, because that's where the clarity, that's where the awareness, that's where the enlightenment, that's where the data and the information is in the evaluation and the rabbit hole of self. Mary Jane says, while the wife is sticking with her husband, she should run to the nearest, and she better run to the nearest clinic to get in a mess. Someone else says that conditioning closed our minds. Southern churches are very judgmental. In my experience, yes, they are. CTV definitely hits you with eye and spiritual openers. Thank you. Basically be the actual bigger person. Now, speaking of that, I want to also shift, because I can't hold you guys here long, but I want to talk a little bit about this Taraji P Henson situation. You guys know that the Color Purple promotion was kind of interrupted by Taraji having a very vulnerable moment, and where she expressed being upset at the lack of pay wage and having to settle for less. More comments were made throughout the press run about her experience working on the Color Purple, on the set of the Color Purple, when it came to not having a driver, not having proper trailers, not having food, etc. Oprah Winfrey came under fire as well. There was a shitstorm around whether things were okay between Taraji and Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey got so much heat and slack that she ended up having to address all of this, saying that, you know, anytime she learned of any issue, she corrected them. And she believes that even Taraji P. Henson would also corroborate that she was only one of four or several other producers, and that she's also not in charge of the pay. That's something that's negotiated by the talent, their lawyers, and the actual studio, etc. But that she has been the biggest champion behind this movie, etc., and that there is no beef between her and Taraji. Well, as a result of box office views, etc., we know that a $150 million movie only grossed about 50 million in its opening weeks, and that
that
means,
is horrible. That is horrible.
hold on. And that means that that's probably the most is going to gross, because it only decreases from this point. Like, movies don't really pick up steam after their opening week, so it's going to be on the decline from here. Now, as a result of this, people are now feeling away or dealing with that. And Taraji recently came forward and said that she actually wants the audience to get back on track, focus on Color Purple, not her pay disparity, not her complaints about the set, etc. She feels like this conversation is taken away from the movie, etc. And now there are people who are also feeling away about her saying that, because a lot of people apparently did not go to see The Color Purple because it was their way of standing in solidarity with Taraji and boycotting, protesting, etc.
Mhm.
A lot of people did not go see the movie or support the movie. Also, there were other issues as well. We had terrible weather in the country the past few weeks. People were blistered in, snowed in. A lot of people just did not want to go sit in a theater, and apparently musicals don't really do that well also, so it seems to be a compounded issue. Maybe Taraji's talking points during the promotional week is not solely responsible for why the movie ultimately flopped. However, well, what are you guys' thoughts about Taraji saying, hey, get back in line, don't allow my sentiments to overshadow or smother out supporting this movie, etc.? And I'm going to go in chronological order. April, what are your thoughts on Taraji P. Henson now seemingly having some regret around speaking out at this point?
Okay. I also I saw earlier today that that Oprah and she did like an interview or something, and she says that the reason why Taraji P Henson is mad at her allegedly because Oprah did not provide them with a driver or something like that, because each one of them was supposed to have a limo driver or food. And what else did Oprah say? um yeah, that she did not provide not good service. And also I remember Taraji was saying that Oprah, though, she didn't treat none of the actors right. And did y'all see the video? Did y'all see like the body language when they was taking a photo? And
Absolutely.
yeah, that Taraji did not want to get next to Oprah, and Oprah didn't want to get next to Taraji, because I saw the body language, and then that made me think something happened between Oprah and Taraji. Yeah, so that's my thought
Mhm.
on that.
Wow,
Yeah,
I haven't seen the interview yet, so I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Oh, so hold on, wait. So April, you're saying that Oprah corroborated the fact that Taraji was in fact frustrated towards her?
yeah, yep, yeah,
What?
because yeah, that's the part I saw, but I can't think of the name of the interview. She was doing a live interview. It was Fantasia and Gail. Gail was wearing a purple dress, if I'm not mistaken, and Fantasia was wearing a black dress with her short hair. And then the other actor, she the heavyset lady. They did a live interview. I can't think of the heavyset lady name, but she played Sophia on the
Yeah.
new Color Purple movie.
Okay, because I remember Oprah speaking to the allegations, but denying that there was any issues, and that she actually corrected all the issues that Taraji had, etc. But that she don't believe that.
And also Fantasia was saying her little statements about the Taraji P situation. Fantasia said that by social media now, people, some Fantasia said that people make up lies and stuff like that.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Fantasia said on one of the interview. And now her family members is worried about Fantasia. Is she selling her soul to Oprah and
What?
Tyler Perry? Yeah.
But
Oh,
she
wow.
sure was dick riding.
Can I say something?
Hold on for a minute, because
Um,
I'm gonna go in chronological order so I can
okay.
sustain some order here. A Peaches and Dream. So you was just speaking. So your thoughts on Taraji, and focus on the movie and not on her sentiments.
Actually, I just recently heard, and I forgot to make sure that this was actually true, that the movie is already going to streaming services.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's the only saving grace, I guess. It's the
Exactly.
life.
So I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out if they can somehow make money off the back end of the movie going on streaming
Oh,
services because
absolutely. It's the very same situation that Christian Keys has with the Queen's Men, where he licensed, the show to Tyler Perry, and he makes, his money on the back end, etc. Even when it comes to TGIF, Claudia had explained to us that, like, the other shows, like the Face Off and those other shows, are not actually funded by Fox Soul, but that other networks license those shows out to Fox Soul, who then plays those shows on their network. So it's the same situation that'll be had once once Warner Brothers actually gets into contract with Netflix or Hulu or whoever it is they'll be doing streaming business with. So yeah, they'll be licensing the movie out and making money that way off the movie, etc. I don't know if that means that the actors and actresses' salaries can be renegotiated, or that it's in their contracts as well to be compensated once the movie goes to streaming, or whether their pay was kind of a clear negotiated pay across the board. So that means that whatever the movie goes on to make, or whatever Warner Brothers goes and make off the movie from this point on, is going to be in their pocket, but not in the pockets of the actresses or the actors.
okay, so the whole Taraji thing, I don't know if she knew what type of damage that would do to the money that was supposed to be made from the movie. I understand that she felt like she needed to speak, and nobody's telling her that she shouldn't have spoke. I'm not saying that she shouldn't have spoke. Ooh, that's real sticky because we needed some type of confirmation. Well, I don't know if we needed confirmation, but we all know who Oprah is. But for somebody else other than Monique to come out and say the exact same thing, that just really hurt. And I don't know why Oprah's trying to act all clueless, because if Monique is saying the same thing about you, said it years ago, but nobody wanted to listen to her, like, you should have been on your best behavior and made sure that the stars of your movie were treated with top-notch services. I mean, Fantasia talking about something, oh, I would have drove because I'm a Southern woman. I'm gonna tell you right now, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. She doesn't drive herself around Charlotte because she lives here. She claims she's from here, but she's from High Point. She doesn't even drive herself around here. But anyway, that's why I said she was dick riding, because everybody's here looking at Fantasia like, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, I'm cussing.
It's a cussing ministry.
But yeah, so yeah, everybody's looking at Fantasia sideways from here. It's a lot of it's half fans of Fantasia, and it's other half just looking at her like you're not even from here. But anyway, but yeah, I guess that was all I had to say, because I was just really confused about Fantasia, popping in and saying something about social media, and what the hell was she really trying to say? Was she trying to direct that to Taraji and Vivica with her unoriginal face?
No,
Okay,
I think
whatever.
everybody. I think that they're all doing damage control. I think that Fantasia is trying to deflect off of Taraji and kind of blame social media for all of the bullshit. And I think that I think April's point, or whoever said it, I don't think that Taraji, I don't think her outburst was intentional. It was clear to me that it was kind of unexpected, and it was kind of something that was building up, and the line of questioning just had brought her to it brought her to a sensitivity and a vulnerability, and then from there she made the executive decision to just unpack it honestly. I don't think, obviously, she thought that conversation or those statements were going to impact the movie, even though it kind of is a logical assumption, right? You're promoting a movie, and obviously speaking about the inconsistencies and the things that lacked, and the way that you and other talent were treated is not necessarily putting the movie in the best of light, especially in a culture that also knows that corporations are bamboozling Black and brown people out of money, and that there is a large mistreatment of Black and brown talent in the industry. So, of course, those statements were going to be latched onto. And then as a result of doing so, like, yeah, this was a natural result. And I feel like rather than Taraji kind of trying to tell social media to refocus, I really feel like if anything, she should have just made a public apology and said, look, I had an honest moment. I had no idea that my words would possibly impact the support of the movie. That was not my intention. And I would like you guys to support the movie. It's awesome. Please don't allow the things that I said to take away from these other women, Fantasia, etc., who are also having this moment. It's fair to them, etc. But it kind of felt a little blame shifty. It felt like she was just like Fantasia, just like Oprah, making it about the fans, making it about social media. But social media would have never had nothing to stir up if it wasn't for, unfortunately, the things that Taraji said, which I don't think, once again, were intentional per se. But
it makes me wonder how much everybody really got paid, because even though it wasn't Fantasia's first movie,
Guess what, boo? If Taraji took home 500,000 or less than 500,000, then everybody else took even less.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Broadway is one thing. I know Fantasia was on Broadway, but like I don't know if her team is equipped enough to get off my bed. I'm sorry, I have a cat. Is equipped enough to, because she's the main character. But everybody's looking at Taraji because they said that, I think Taraji had some really great reviews, but Fantasia was the main character. I felt like because she was the main character, then she should have gone home, with a lot. But because I think it's levels to the experience, Taraji it's real sticky when it comes to how much people should be getting paid. Of course, Taraji should be getting a lot, But I mean, I really want to know the number. I really want to know the number. I mean, I highly doubt that Fantasia read the contract herself. So
What?
I'm trying to figure out how the hell that her team negotiated how much she was supposed to get paid. All right, I'm done.
I can guarantee you this, or whatever it was, we ain't gonna hear about it no time soon because they're learning from Taraji's mistake in what could happen if you open your lips and offer any type of criticism toward a corporation, even if it is constructive. So out of fear of them being blackballed, they more than likely will not be placating to divulging any discomforts, especially now that they're trying to do damage control. So we probably won't hear about that ever, or maybe in 10 years when they're doing, a tell-all or uncensored something and they lay it all out. But I highly doubt that they're going to divulge that at this point.
But then we'll be asking that same question. How come you didn't say something back then?
Out of fear. And they're going to say out of fear of being a blackball, out of fear of out of fear of having careers.
Shit, Oprah probably gotta perish before anybody says anything against her, because just like Tyler Perry, she got people everywhere that she's still powerful even though she's done a lot of fucked up stuff. So,
well, Taraji, if all else fails, baby, there's room for you over here on YouTube, boo. Rashonda, your thoughts on Taraji? Should she be blamed for the failure of the movie?
No, not really. It's something that I wanted to touch on. What y'all don't know, it's beef with Oprah. It started way back with the first and original Color Purple. Her and Whoopi got into it. And what happened was, that she didn't include Whoopi in the second movie.
No,
Whoopi,
it was.
Yeah,
it was a lot of controversy over that as well.
She didn't show up to the talk show neither.
Yeah, so they got into it on The View. I found that out. Fantasia wanted to talk to Whoopi, and Oprah told her no, she don't want to be bothered. So I think that Oprah was jealous of the first original and she wasn't the star. So notice she taking over the Color Purple as, I'm the star, I'm over this, and it's like a jealousy thing with her, you know what I'm saying? And then you gotta also remember she's been the reason why she's been getting ridiculed because she's with Weinstein. Yeah. So it's a lot of factors in this, she when she first came out, she was sweet, kind hearted and everything, but now it's like she's mad because she's not on top anymore. I mean, yeah, she's on top, but she, like you was talking earlier about her being like, people being uppity. She didn't got to a certain status and she feels like that she don't need no help and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying, Conscious?
Mm-hmm.
It's like okay,
Oprah is gone, baby. It ain't no coming back for Oprah. She sold out completely, baby. Like she done. But what do you think of Taraji's statements? Do you think that her spilling the tea about production played into why the movie did not do as projected?
I think that, yeah, but at the same time, I think that she got tired of being mistreated by Oprah because, at one point she did look up to Oprah, and then because I saw the video that the lady was talking about where she shunned her, and her attitude was so stank, even without her even saying anything. Like, girl, who you think you is? That's how she was treating Taraji and Fantasia now. And it's like, okay, these are stars. It ain't just like it's some ordinary people. These are people that you gonna be working with. You might want to treat people with more respect. And not only that, if you want somebody to work with you, you can't tell them how to feel or what you can't underpay them for when you want them to be in your project. You get what I'm saying? That's what I was telling you earlier about Hollywood. They get you to be conditioned to these roles that they want you to do, and then get mad because you want to negotiate a pay that you doing the work. It ain't like they doing the work. You putting all your talents and stuff in the situation. You see what I'm saying? Conscious.
Mm.
So it's like, you gonna have me do all this work, and then you gonna get mad because I want to ask for pay, a certain pay. That's one reason why Taraji spoke out, because she got tired. Look how long she been doing movies and stuff. She said I've been working so hard to the point where she had almost had a mental breakdown. She said that. So you can't just have people working like a horse and don't expect to give them nothing. People ain't gonna be working like that. I know, Conscious, you wouldn't even do that.
Right. Now, I did see the movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I enjoyed the original. Me personally, and I've said this before, I said this recently in a Hot Topics. I'm really not into the fictional slave struggle, Sophia, that's a damn good man type of like, that's just not my cup of tea. Like, I feel like between the history I already have to learn and continue to educate myself on, coupled with being Black my damn self, I really don't need to see the struggle fictionalized, because it's still a reality in the lives of us as Black and brown people. And I'd rather just actually know my history. So a lot of times I will opt out of watching fictionalized portrayals of slavery and all of that stuff. Like, I would just go and look at an actual documentary and actually go and do the research, etc. So it ain't really my cup of tea to begin with. I don't even think I ever watched the original Color Purple fully. I think I only saw like 45 minutes of the original Color Purple, but Reckless had dragged me into watching this movie a few nights ago. And so we had watched it together. He didn't even make it through the damn first 30 minutes, but I ended up like really liking the movie. So I thought it was a well done movie. I enjoyed it. It was a musical. And it did not feel as heavy either as the original movie. Do I feel like without Taraji's statements, this movie would have just blown the box office open? No, I don't. I think that the other factor still would have contributed. I think it being a musical still would have contributed to it not maximizing the quota or it meeting the quota. And I also think that the weather and all of that, just the timing, would have still played out the way that it did. I do think it would have done just a little bit better, but I don't think that Taraji's comments in and of themselves led to this movie not hitting its mark. I mean, we're talking about still a society that did not want to even help Monique to boycott Netflix. So I know damn well Taraji's statements alone, which she didn't even call for a boycott. She didn't even call for the audience to do anything as it relates to her statements. Damn sure did not contribute to the movie not doing well. But I do think it's there a little bit.
Let me ask you this before you go on. Do you think that Oprah is trying to stop her from trying to blackball her for future movies because she was outed by Taraji?
I think that Taraji has definitely opened herself up in general to some pushback because of her behavior, unfortunately. She probably looks like a liability to a lot of other studios, and a lot of directors will probably hesitate because we know that vocal people are also a threat to systems. People get very afraid of very vocal people who don't take no shit. So now that she's entered into that space, she's probably entering into a Monique era. I don't know what her situation with Oprah in and of itself will be, but I think in general, yeah, she has now put, unfortunately, a target that shouldn't even be on her back to begin with on her back, unfortunately.
I got you.
Yeah. To Tarita. Can you hear
Yes.
me, boo? Okay.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Taraji? Did her statements fuck up
Like I said earlier
the success of this
tonight.
movie?
Yeah, like I said earlier tonight. As far as Taraji speaking on her situation, I don't. I wish on it, because at the end of the day, I mean, Taraji P, she's right now, she's an A-list actress right now. Okay. She's one of those actresses that she is able to get what she's asking for. And basically, if they had a big movie house that was running the movie like MGM, Paramount, whatever, I think that the movie will still be doing the way it's doing right now, no matter what Taraji P. Hendricks said, because of the fact that I've even heard some people already said that, because I mean, I grew up on The Color Purple. That movie came out in the 80s, the mid 80s. I was in middle school when that movie came out. And I love that movie, the original movie. That movie is, and not only that, but because I mean, when I saw that movie, I could recite that movie word for word. But at the end of the day, there were already people like, people I was talking to, or friends you're going to go see the musical version of The Color Purple. A lot of them already said they wasn't going to see it because, they had, their love for the original, So
Yeah.
I think the knife was already in the back in the movie, and because the money wasn't there.
Yeah.
I think the money wasn't there. They didn't
Which is kind of weird. Which is also kind of weird because a lot of people are saying, I mean, where in the hell did $150 million even go to begin with? And y'all couldn't pay these actresses, but this isn't even given a $150 million budget.
Right, but you can get them $250 million to $300 million, or budget to a major motion picture, for an action film for this, this actress or that actor or this and that. Something's not right. The money, it's gonna come out later on, but the money wasn't right. And then, like I said, if they had a major movie house, giving them the right kind of budget for that movie, you know what I mean? Like I said, MGM, Paramount, Miramax, whatever, giving Warner Brothers, whoever, to give money to making sure that they're interested into, getting this movie made, this musical made, because I've spoken to people that had seen the musical, on Broadway. Everybody into musicals, like myself. I'm not into musicals. And like you said, and you talk about earlier, when I said it went to streaming right away, my mother bought it Thursday night.
Yeah.
Okay, it went straight to streaming right away. So, like what's the name said earlier, she don't know who was reading Fantasia's contract for her, but I'm pretty sure Taraji was like, look, I'm gonna make sure I go over this contract and make sure I get money for the streaming rights, this and that.
And let's remember, you guys, Fantasia did get her GED, so she does know how to read now.
Right, but somebody admitted her. Then again, she was famous for the musical Color Purple. She did an excellent job as far as the musical The Color Purple.
Yeah.
Okay. But as far as the movie itself, like I said, I think that Oprah and she got other people invested into the movie to get as much money as she could, to get this movie made, paid whoever, give them their little interest and whatever. but I think the knife was already in the back for this movie not to be successful. You know what I mean? And to because there wasn't a movie house that was putting that money in there. $150 million. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But all I say
Yeah.
is like this: Taraji, at the end of the day, she's an A-list actress. She should have stood her ground. She should have stood 10 toes down on what she said at the end of the day. As far as her being how she was paid. You know what I mean? And I mean she's for her to physically sit up there and break down and cry and talking about to actually leave the business. You know what I mean? There's that thing where you're helping your brother and your sister out. Help a brother out, help a sister out. Okay, I'm going to do this. To help my brother and sister out. This, and that. But then want you to work like a dog, and that's what Monique was talking about. You want me to sit up there, do this movie, okay, and play Precious's mom, and then not only that, you want to give me only this amount of money, but you want me to go around the world for free and pay my way around the world out of my pocket to promote this movie Precious for nothing.
After I had already given you guys a discount to even do the film to begin with.
Exactly.
And I'm pregnant.
Because she only got paid $50,000 to do that movie. You know that, right? Monique only got paid $50,000 to play that part in the movie Precious.
Yeah. And I believe because of the energy in which Monique did that movie, in terms of her doing Lee Daniels a favor, her doing it out of her heart, I believe that's why she was blessed to win her Oscar, because I believe that was a token of the energy. Now it's just unfortunate that because the industry itself is still disproportionate, it's sexist, it's racist, etc., that the Oscar ended up setting her up for failure even more. But nonetheless,
and that's why God is good, because that's why years later, here Lee Daniels had to turn around and come back to Monique and apologize to her in public, in front of people in public, to let her know that she was right. He was wrong. He was sorry. You know what I mean? He should have had her back. And
let's be clear. Even that, unfortunately, was because of the pressure she applied and the success of her lawsuit. That led to that. So I even question the sincerity of Lee Daniels' statements, but nonetheless, I mean, he apologized. He went on record. Cool, but I think she's still waiting on her apology from Tyler and from Oprah.
She ain't gonna never get that. She ain't gonna get that from them.
And because she's not gonna get that, her foot will be forever on a motherfucking neck.
Mm-hmm.
So any opportunity to call them heathens out, y'all can expect Monique to enter into the goddamn algorithm. Anytime there's an opportunity to drag Oprah ass, she's gonna be right there, loaded and ready. And I don't blame her.
Right. I don't blame her either.
All right. Thank you for that, Charita Bala. Hey, boo, welcome to the platform. Your thoughts on Taraji? Did her sentiments hinder the success of the Color Purple remake?
Good morning, Conscious. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I think yes and no. I think it did, because it distracted her talking about, the unfairness of everything did distract her. I mean, did distract from the movie. But, you said you like it, but I haven't watched it, but from what I've seen on social media, nobody really liked it. It was like they should have left it alone. So when I
probably only liked it, boo, because I don't remember the original.
Oh,
so, so I ain't even really got nothing to compare it to. Really.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But I think that maybe if they had their like a part 2, like, okay, Celie's kids, when they came to America, what happened, Sophia's kids and so far and so on, right? I think it would have been better. But as far as Oprah, I mean, okay, so when you when you get the okay, you get the budget, you get the green light to make a movie, right? So she's one of one of the executive producers or something. Um, so she's like one of the bosses. So the trailers, the food, whoever's going to cater, whoever's good security, all that should have been done before they even got on set. That's how they do it for the white people. So I feel like that should have been done. That should not have been, besides like the money they were asking for the to get paid. But as far as everything else, the trailer, like I said, the catering and everything, that should have been done from jump once they got the green light to go.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody talking about that at all. They
Well,
shouldn't
we
even
talked
have
about
to
it here for
compare.
sure, and
Well,
we
I know
stated,
you did. Yeah.
and we stated that had Oprah been a booked talent, that
Uh-huh.
none of these issues would have been
Yeah.
Mm.
the case.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that lady is not a nice person at all. I know someone who was married to one of her siblings, and that they had one child, and she looks exactly like Oprah, but like the prettier version of her. And Oprah Winfrey, listen, she only care about herself. She don't care about nobody. Because if she did, and she has so much writing on this movie, I mean, everything should have been like checked off the list. So there wouldn't be any complaint about the food or the trailers or rental cars and stuff like that. Everything would have went smooth. Besides, the negotiation for payment. That's just my opinion. I mean, that's what makes sense.
Yeah, and I can understand why Taraji probably was boiling over in
Right.
frustration, because when you already have been injured, aka I'm already
Hmm.
feeling like I'm settling for less than my worth, but then to add insult to injury, y'all don't even have none of the amenities right. Like, I'm
Exactly.
already essentially doing y'all a favor, and then y'all got the audacity to have it all dusty up in here. Y'all ain't
Hmm.
even got my food right. Y'all ain't even got a damn trailer for me. Y'all ain't even got like if I'm gonna do you a favor, then everything else need to be excellent. Like, everything else you provide and need to make up for
Yeah.
the in for the disproportion of it all. So I think because that just added insult to injury, that Taraji just lost her shit in that interview, and just she just had to let it out. It was total frustration and heartbreak for her.
Yeah. And just like the lady said, I mean, $100 million. I mean, that don't look like $100 million movie. I mean, that should have been some like action packed movie or something for $100 million. Well, just like you said, we'll find out what happened with that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even make me want to watch it. I don't want to watch The Color Purple as a musical. I thought when I heard about it, either I was like, I hope they don't remake it. I hope it's a continuation. You understand, like a part two, like what happened after Celie, met her kids again. But I don't even want to watch it. I mean, the only musical I like is Grease, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I really think that that the movie industry just need to stay the fuck away from classics altogether, because they really have not done
Yes.
any of them well. Like, all of the
Mhm.
Nightmare on Elm Streets have been trash. Friday the 13th have been trash. All of the like remakes have been trash. The Chuckies,
Yeah.
the child, like
Right.
all of them are trash. The Screams have been alright. Some of them been trash too. So it's just like, just actually come up with a original idea. It's really not that hard. Get creative. Stop being lazy and settling for things that
Mhm.
already have happened. Fetch already came
Yeah.
and gone. Just actually, go be original. But yeah, but I gotta get out of here, guys. I want to thank y'all for being up here. I got to go. This was an amazing dialogue. I appreciate all of you ladies. This was the after show, you guys, for the Christian Keys, T.D. Jakes drama. I'm going to add Taraji to the title and to the thumbnail as well. Thank you all. We will continue this discussion. There's a lot of shit we got to get into. If you didn't catch the previous stream because you didn't get notified, please check out the previous live. We unpacked the T.D. Jakes situation with Prophet Manasseh and talked about this new allegation from an alleged lover of 17 years of Jakes. Went into a lot of interesting details. There's also an image up there for you to check out, etc. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe to the platform, get the word out. Please thumbs up on your way out if you already did not. And show the king some love, honey. Okay, on the Cash App and the PayPal. And I will see all of you guys later. Bye.